overcoming insecurities.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
What is insecurity to you? If you were to define being insecure.
Like a form of self-doubt.
Now, did you steal that from what I said? Or
No,
did you
I said that before you said that. You gave a more elaborate definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say definitely. It's
I
just
dumbed
like
it down
this.
a little bit.
Yeah, I would say insecurity is like you have a feeling or a doubt about yourself in a negative way, therefore you kind of project it out onto other people.
Internal. Like Jiro.
That was a stretch.
stretch.
That was a stretch. I know about that.
Well, you're projecting your negativity onto me, and I don't need that.
Oh, you're real shiny today. Real sparkly.
Oh, thank you. Like my eyes? It's allergies. My eyes are very itchy and watery.
Nice, babe.
Yeah. But thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, so how do you feel people develop insecurities?
Well, like I said earlier, maybe negative events in your past or negative moments or internalizing things too much.
Okay.
Where you just kind of just let it build and build and build until it becomes a big issue.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think like two big main points that people develop insecurities is from under communication.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're talking about relationships, absolutely. If people don't communicate enough, you just fill in the blanks, right? Like your head fills in blanks that you don't know. Mm-hmm. And most
like
people
an ad lib, you know.
Sure. And usually the blanks that you fill are going to be negative. Yeah. I mean, that's just how we're wired. I think unless you grew up in a very specific type of environment and household, I would say most people fill in blanks with negative thoughts and worst case scenarios, things like that. Mm-hmm. Under communication, and then what you said with whatever you said.
Glad you were listening. Yeah, just like past negative or traumatic experiences, or I feel like it could also be like depending on certain households that you possibly grew up in.
Yeah.
Like if you're used to like loud or like, I wouldn't say angry parents, but like parents that have like highs and lows all the time.
Okay.
Things like you not really saying anything, like you being quiet, could make you feel insecure, like maybe you have done something wrong, like silence or calmness.
I would definitely think past events. I mean, as you grow up, the events that happen is going to develop you as a person. So any past events that were kind of negative and you grew up with can definitely develop into insecurities if like you haven't dealt with them as you grow up and you feel as if you aren't good enough in some way. Like any example, like you're saying if communication was one of the things as like a younger person, like you said, you're a quiet person, you start to kind of develop this insecurity of maybe what I have to say is not good enough for people to listen to. Therefore, that's why I'm just quiet all the time, or people don't want to hear what I have to say. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that definitely plays a role into it.
Yeah.
What?
My eyes are watering so bad.
Is it because I'm beautiful like that?
I don't know. It's because my eye is very itchy.
Oh. It looks like
you're gonna clip that, and I'm gonna be so missed.
Yeah. Looks like you just stroked out there for a minute. Okay. So then the topic at hand. How do you overcome your insecurities?
I think by your definition earlier about like how people develop insecurities is like not like communicating.
What was that? Not communicating, then like not feeling good enough in some way. Okay.
So I feel like a way to overcome that would be to have better communication.
Yeah. That scares
Am I? Oh, Lord. How's this side?
That side's fine. You
Okay.
You can't see this side.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hair and makeup. I'm just kidding. We don't have that kind of budget.
Okay. Is this good? Do you need to wipe it?
I mean, it's crying a little bit, but
okay,
you're all right. We'll get through it.
Overcoming. Right. Okay. So.
Well, let's get back to it.
Back to you, Jaya.
Yeah. In the studio.
I'm never gonna fucking get back into this. Okay. Is overcoming would be better communication. So letting your partner know what makes you feel insecure. So if there's something like, let's say right now I am feeling very insecure about how I look. So I will tell you, like, you know what, right now I'm just like not feeling good about myself. I feel gross.
Would that necessarily be an insecurity? Because you're saying,
I mean, I guess that's more like in the moment.
Insecurity is something that like is deep within, like seated within you. Like you're very insecure.
I'm insecure about my feet.
Yeah, those, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't appreciate your jokes about my feet.
Your web toes.
I don't have web toes. I do not have web toes. I have like Fred Flintstone toes.
They're little fingers.
They're little. Communicating what my insecurities would be. So you would know how to, I wouldn't say work around it, but just know like what would upset me or what would hurt me.
Yeah, definitely. I think knowing them is definitely helpful to the other person because, one, obviously you don't want to say something that'll kind of trigger an insecurity, but also you can like do things to actually help them overcome their insecurities. And communicating is one of the biggest things. And I think relationship-wise, people are very insecure about partners, mainly because communication. Like I said, if you don't know how somebody feels, you're going to be insecure. If they're not communicating how they feel, you know, what they're doing, this and that, like, where's this relationship going? You're going to be insecure about a lot of things of the relationship because no one is communicating on a proper level. To go back to what you said, you can have personal insecurities that can develop into the relationship as well. So I think while it's good to communicate insecurities within like what makes us insecure, like if you were to do something, like if you're like, hey, I'm going out on a Friday night to this club, whatever, why am I insecure about you going out and doing those type of things? Like what has happened to me previously, or what do I know about what's going on or what's happened to me to make me insecure about those things as well.
But I also feel like in that scenario, that's when you kind of depend on your partner to kind of be like, you know what, like, I understand that, like, maybe that doesn't make you uncomfortable. Would you like to go with me? Or what can I do to, like, help you get over it? I think it really just, like, adds that insecurity when the partner is more dismissive about,
the communication.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that's just a very simple example. I mean, there's much more deep-rooted problems, I think, in probably people's relationships of why people are insecure about one another. But, yeah, I think it's definitely a two-part thing because the personal insecurity, I think, is much more difficult than the relationship one. Because you can probably talk it out and figure out, like, okay, if you're really insecure when I don't respond to you or something like that, like, that's fine. Like, I'll just make sure I have really good communication and we're going to talk that out. But if it's something that's happened to you maybe in a previous relationship or just over time, those are a little harder, I think, to try to work through because that's like a constant battle against like yourself and what you've been programmed to know. Is there anything else that you think helps overcome insecurity? How about if you're insecure about something, why not build confidence in that area? And a good way to overcome any type of skill related insecurity is gain knowledge in that area and do something like repetitious and build confidence in it. And that can slowly overcome the insecurities that you might have as well.
The problems that you had with a previous partner, don't bring those same problems into the new relationship. Like, don't go in here thinking you're going to have the same problems, same situations, and then start digging, looking for that same problem in your new partner. And that's just kind of where you have to realize, like...
Or people compare them to their exes.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing, too. Right? Yeah. You'll be like, you'll be doing something...
So-and-so never did that to me.
Yeah. And you're like, well, I'm not them.
Right. Exactly.
You know? I think a really good way to counteract that would be just to learn to be in the present moment, which is really, really difficult for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I mean, because your brain is wired to like always be thinking. So you're constantly thinking about new things. But if you learn to be present in the moment and enjoy the time that you have, you actually don't have time to think about all these other things that create a negative thought process of what you're doing. As you do that over time and you learn to just be present with the person you're with, it'll slowly subside all those other previous relationship thoughts, attitudes, things that you might do because of other relationships. I think that over time that'll gradually just reduce.
You're very well spoken.
Yeah, well, thank you. I went to Harvard.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Are you saying I'm not good enough to go to Harvard?
No, you could definitely. Elle Woods went to Harvard.
Who was that?
Legally Blonde. Elle Woods. Harvard Law School.
You're gonna reference a movie and then act like I'm stupid for not knowing Legally Blonde?
Everybody knows Elle Woods.
I don't know what that is. Is that her name?
Yeah, that is her name.
Oh, okay.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, there you go.
Learning to accept that, like, not every relationship is perfect either.
That it's
not the end of the world, and it's not like your relationship failing. Because I feel like when things get bad, it might make you feel like you're no longer going to be the same, or you're like going to lose that partner.
Okay.
And so I feel like learning to accept that you're going to have the bumps in the roads, you're going to have the arguments, like you're going to have disagreements. It's not going to be perfect. Will kind of give you a little peace of mind. A little bit. Yeah. It'll at least help you from overthinking too much, which I am very guilty of.
Definitely. I think people, especially if they've been in a lot of different relationships, I'm sure they think like, I don't want an argument or this relationship's going to end.
Yeah.
I don't think people think long term. Like most people don't think, they think a year is long term, right? Yeah. Instead of like 5, 10, 15 years. And that everything is a process. Mm-hmm. And you develop things over time. You can't just assume or expect things to change overnight. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of insecurities, habits, things that people have, even if they want to change them for the better, it's a process and it takes time.
Good job, babe.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, are we doing the handshake again?
Or
have you been working on it? Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you didn't do the hand. Oh. No.
I didn't do the hand one.
You got to do the hand behind the.
What's the hand behind the what?
Oh, well, do it again. And then what? What were you doing?
I thought it was in.
Oh, okay.
Is that not it?
Well, you drew me in last. I don't know what you're doing anymore.
They're going to see the progression of the handshake.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to drink this little cerveza.